Hello, this is Wet Carp actually speaking to you right now on a channel that has like no subscribers, but I don't care. I'm doing this for fun. So a while back, like I saw a couple of different videos that were like every Harry Potter game ranked. And one was like every Harry Potter game, or I played every Harry Potter game so you don't have to. Those kind of things. Which is the kind of video I'd want to watch. The only problem is I want to do the exact same thing myself. But I'm not, I'm kind of a busy person. I'm at a busy point in my life. I got other stuff to do. I got important stuff to take care of. So I don't have the time to sit down and like get good at YouTube, so to speak. Like I'm using a PS5 controller as a microphone because I don't have any actual equipment yet. And now that those videos already exist, they're going to do what I was going to do. I felt like, well, I guess I'm not going to make this because about a year ago, I decided to play through all these crappy games. Some of them are good. All the different versions of every Harry Potter game. Because, you know, there's like 8 movies, right? Everyone knows that. And each movie had like 3 different tie-in games. And they're all completely different. And some of them are actually like good, like genuinely good games. So I wanted to go through and rank them all. I have like 32 here. Some of these aren't. I'm going to actually make something down here. So some of these are games I haven't played. They're also just like complete shovelware, nothing. I'll explain that in a second. But anyways, I saw that video and I'm like, I wanted to do that. I'm still going to do it. Obviously low quality, whatever. I'm just doing this for fun. Because it took me a while to get through all these games and they were pretty bad. And I wouldn't play them outside of making this video. So I'm not someone that likes to waste their time. So if I play a game, or if I play all these games, I want to do something about it. I don't want to just sit here and be like, yeah, I played these obscure games from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago that like no one's ever played. They have like no value at all. So I don't want to waste my time playing it for the heck of it. So I'm actually going to make this video here because it took me hours to get through all this crap. Like right here we have, where is it? Hogwarts Legacy is a game. Just put it randomly right here, is a game that took me maybe like 40 something hours to like 100%. It probably took me 40 hours to just beat all the rest of these games, probably even more than that. So it wasn't like the biggest time waste, but it's something I definitely want to actually do something productive with and just kind of mess around with making a video, doing audio, and just you know, experience. No one's going to watch this. I'm making this for me. That's fine. So first I'm going to go ahead and just get all this stuff that I'm not going to rank. So I don't know what that even is. Probably just like a Flash game. We got like the Xbox Kinect crap that like no one touched. I think it's like right there. This looks like some kind of like Nokia like 5000 phone game. I don't know what that is. Like a DVD ROM crap. Then we got, where's the other one? Lego Dimensions. That's not even a game. That's just part of a game. Lego Harry Potter Creator. I don't know. That's not really much of a game either. It's just a little thing. I don't know what this even is. It's called like Mastering Magic. I think it's like Connect. And then more Connect. We're not doing that. Nobody. Okay, I'm not that like stupid. I'm not gonna play whatever this is. Go out of my way and get a working 360 with Connect. Like I don't know, or Nokia, whatever that. I don't know. It's just none of that. Wizard Unite. I think it's like a mobile game. I think that's all of them. Wait. Yeah, here's another DVD game. So there should be like 32. I already kind of know where I'm putting everything. I have a list over here. So we're just going to talk through it. I'm going to try not to give too much commentary because some of these games there's not really much to say about it. So let's go. We're going to start with the Sorcerer's Stone. So all the games based off of that movie, which there are like, let's see, there's like 5 different versions, which is crazy because like nowadays, if there's a game on like Legacy, for example, the Switch one is pretty weak compared to like the PS5, but it's still the same game. It's just a port, you know. This, it's like the Game Boy Advance is so just weak. It's like a calculator compared to like the GameCube. So it's just a completely different game. So obviously, it's just its own thing. So I'm gonna start with the real iconic. What is this? Sorcerer's Stone, the PlayStation. Now I think I have that. Let me just explain the tiers. Oh, I actually need a below. So the way I'm thinking, like A tiers, like, you know, 8 out of 10 games. S is like 9 out of 10, wherever. B is like 7. C is like 5 to 6. D is like a 4, and then F is like 0 to like 2 out of 10 or something like that. So I put the PS1 Harry Potter. I think it's like a 7. So I guess that's B. That's like a very, very low B tier. So I watched a video that I feel like people talk about how like nostalgic this game is. You get like the PS1 Haggard and stuff like that. And I think it's like an enjoyable experience. It's a good game, but it's very much just like a mini game compilation. I remember there's this one guy that talked about the game, and he basically was saying how bad it was because like it doesn't make any sense. Like if you haven't seen Harry Potter, you're not gonna understand what's going on because it's just one random event after another after another. That's true, but it's still like a fun game. Like I don't know what he's talking about. Like it's decent enough. I understand why it was popular. I kind of do enjoy it. It's kind of a guilty pleasure almost, but it's still like, I mean, it's just a PS1 game. It looks ugly, but I kind of like that it looks ugly. I don't know. So, moving on, I think, oh, this is interesting. We got the Sorcerer's Stone, the Game Boy Color. Okay, the thing about the Game Boy Color one is that it's just a full-blown RPG. Now, I'm not really an RPG guy myself, but I can, and I don't really know, like, in terms of RPGs, how good or innovative this game is. But, I mean, I played Pokemon, and it reminds me of Pokemon a little bit, and I liked it. It was good. Like, it's definitely like a game, like, if you're a huge RPG fan, you're probably not going to want to just go out and play it. If you're a Harry Potter fan and also RPG fan, it's like you gotta play it, you know? You can't really skip it in that case. I don't really have much to say about it. It's actually like a good game. It's definitely better than the PS1. It's a pretty good game. Then we also have things also came out also one. The Game Boy Advance version, that's probably C. That one is like, I'm trying to remember what the game's even like. It's almost like a top-down Zelda game. The puzzles are really simple, and the graphics are weird, and it's like not that interesting. It kind of pads out a little bit. It's just like, I don't know, it's just kind of whatever. Compared to these two games, it's still like fine enough. Like it's an okay game, but it's just like, and it doesn't really take too long to beat. I don't think. I mean, I don't remember. I don't know. I'll look that up again. It's definitely just kind of whatever. I don't really have much to say about it. It's just like a very simple 2D Zelda game, but Harry Potter, I guess. And then, okay, we gotta move on to the PC, which is definitely, I'd say it's better than Game Boy Color. I think, it might be in between those two. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're pretty interchangeable. Obviously, these two are better than this, but I don't know. But the PC version is definitely, it's great. Well, I wouldn't say great, but it's like almost great. It's kind of like this weird like 3D platformer, but also like it has like tank controls, but the tank controls aren't that bad, and it's really cool and atmospheric. It's very simple. It's like a point and click 3D platformer, and I've never seen anything like it, and it's honestly like its own thing. And I think anyone that's even remotely into like Harry Potter or just platformers in general might want to check it out. It's decent. It's a pretty decent game. Not as good as something else that we'll talk about in a second, but it's definitely like, it's a pretty good game. It's a lot better than you would think it is. Honestly, all three of these games, I mean, PS1's kind of weird, but these two games are like a lot better than you would think they are. Like you could tell, like, this was a time when Harry Potter was brand new. The first movie was coming out soon. Obviously, all these are based on the movie, but it really feels like these are more based off the book. So it's kind of like their interpretation of the Harry Potter story. It's not only just like a tie-in game. It's kind of like its own, like it's trying to be a good video game instead of just some random tie-in, at least at this point. But we'll see what that turns into. I'm actually going to wait for that, because technically this came out in 2003. So now we're going to move on to the Chamber Secrets era, which has like 6 versions. That's crazy, dude. We're going to start with PlayStation, PS1. There's actually a PS1 game released in 2002. It's just kind of funny that they actually did that. I mean, it's kind of mid. It's definitely like not as charming. It's just kind of like an asset flip of the first game. It's almost like DLC in a way, you know? I don't get much out of it. It's still like, but since it's like the same game, it's still like fun. It's just kind of like not as fun. So if you like really like this one, then it's worth checking out, but if otherwise, it's just kind of whatever. Which is crazy, because the rest of these games are, like, the best out of all these. So let's go to the PS, or I guess we'll go in order. Game Boy Color, A tier, obviously. Solid game. It's just a much better version of this one. And I think this one, you can play as multiple characters. This one is just Harry. This one's like Ron. I think Hermione. Even there's like a part where you play as Gilderoy Lockhart. Like, it's just so much more just expanded upon. Better animations. It's just really charming. Just a great RPG. If you're gonna play one of these two, just play this one. It's actually like a good like 8 out of 10 game. Like, it's up there with, maybe not quite up there with the OG Pokemon, but it's up there. The way we do after, I guess. Game Boy Advance, it's kind of like a B tier. I can't remember what that one was like. This one was actually made by the same people that did the Chamber Secrets on the console, which I'll talk about in a second. It's kind of like this game right here, but actually like interesting. It's not so much a Zelda game as it is like an action-adventure kind of platformer type game. It's not very long. It's just charming, really good graphics, really like just for a Game Boy game, obviously. It's just really charming, but it's also not anything super special. So it's just kind of there, but it's a good game. It's not bad. It's not bad. PC. Ooh, here's the thing. PC is obviously A tier, and so is the console version. Now, these two are basically interchangeable. I personally like the console one a bit more, but at the same time, it's just personal preference. These two are basically like actual, like, the best Harry Potter games, like prior to like Legacy and stuff like that. Well, the thing about the console version, this is actually kind of the whole thing that made me so interested in these games. I grew up with this game in particular on the GameCube, and this is actually this is basically Harry Potter for me. My first exposure to the whole franchise was this game. I played it before I watched any of the movies, played it before I played any of the games, or not games. I played it before I read any of the books, you know. So whenever I think of Harry Potter, I honestly always think of this game first, which is really weird. See, in the game, the voice actor for Harry sounds nothing like Daniel Radcliffe, but for the longest time, anytime I thought of Harry, I always think of this voice, right? So whenever I watch those movies and I hear Daniel Radcliffe doing it, it's like, it just feels off, which is weird because it should be the other way around, but this genuinely feels more like Harry Potter to me. And I could go on and on about that game, and I might do that in a separate thing here. I actually have a video on the channel of like one of the developers on the game going through it, talking about how they made the game and all that stuff. You could tell there was like passion. Like, this wasn't originally supposed to be like, oh, just the Chamber Secrets game. It was supposed to be like the Harry Potter video game. This is supposed to be like the Hogwarts Legacy of the time, and for the most part, it succeeds. It's like a solid 8 out of 10. Nothing like mind-blowing. Obviously, like Zelda is still better because it's kind of like a lesser version of Zelda. But I mean, if you like that kind of like action puzzle kind of game, and you're also a Harry Potter fan, it's just, you gotta play. Like, it's actually really good. I'd say it's probably like the best movie tie-in ever. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Like, I mean, like a game based off of like a movie, a singular movie, right? I can't think of anything. Maybe like Spider-Man 2 or something, but other than that, I think that's the best one. But here's the thing about that. The GameCube and Xbox version is actually pretty different than the PS2 version, but also not. Like, it still plays the same, but it was technically made by a completely different studio using a completely different game engine, but it's still like the same. And the only big difference is the PS2 has like a kind of an open world thing where you can kind of actually walk between all the areas, but there's like nothing to do, so it's really boring. So in the GameCube one and Xbox, you just kind of teleport to where you need to go, which is pretty like convenient for the time. Like, it's kind of surprising. So some people are like, oh, but I love the open world. It's like, yeah, but there's nothing to do. So I think what the GameCube developers did was actually smarter, because it doesn't waste your time. I feel like and also the PS2 version's kind of clunky, it runs weird. It's just weird all around, but it's still the same game. So like, I guess I'll put it on there, but just in case, I'm gonna do, because technically it's different. Like, if I would probably say, if this is like an 8 out of 10, then the PS2 version here is probably like a 7.5 out of 10. But that's just kind of there. Just, I don't know. whenever I talk about this game, yeah, I'm talking about the GameCube Xbox version. The PS2 version's still good, but it's not really what I'm talking about. But whatever. That's probably the most I'll talk about. It's probably the most I'll talk about one given game on this whole list, but it's just very important to me. I love it. And yeah, the PC version is just a much better version of this, the Sorcerer's Stone. Like, it's such a big improvement. And honestly, either one of these, technically this might be a better game, but I just like this one more. So it's just up to preference. Honestly, all three of these games are just like fantastic. Like, it's so weird how there's three different versions. There's three different games based on one movie, and all three of them are completely different. You got like a Zelda clone, platformer, RPG, and they're all great. Honestly, they're all great games. And then these two are like, this one's good, and this one's like kind of good. So it's like, I don't know what they were doing, but Chamber Secrets, that's that whole era, they were just cracked. I don't know, they were cracked making those games. So after Chamber, they went and did like a Xbox and GameCube version of Sorcerer's Stone using the Chamber Secrets engine. And it's honestly, you know what's weird about this game? It's like a C tier, it's kind of whatever. It reminds me a lot of like the Chamber Secrets on the PS1, where it's just an asset flip, but this time it's the Sorcerer's Stone being asset flip at Chamber Secrets. I don't know, it's weird. I'd say it's probably... I'd say it's better. I mean, it's better than that. It's still like a decent enough game, but it's just the Chamber Secrets game copied and pasted with different levels, and it's just kind of clunkier and just kind of like, just not as good, not as polished, but it's alright. It's kind of, like, I'm kind of glad they made it, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, whatever. Now we can move on. We can't move on. We gotta talk about Quidditch World Cup, bro. Okay, the original Quidditch World Cup, it's like a pretty low B tier. I'd say it's a little bit better than that PS1 version of Sorcerer's Stone. This one, people talk about it being like the best Harry Potter game. It's not. Like, it's an alright sports game. It's kind of like unbalanced though, but at the same time, there's a lot of content, and getting able to play as like, there's like a whole like career mode. It's a lot. I forget. It's like, it starts out with you at like Hogwarts, and you can pick your house, and then you complete the Hogwarts House Cup, whatever. Then it moves on to like the World Series, and it goes on for a while. But it's genuinely like fun, but it is a little repetitive. Like, it's not that great, but for what it is, it's a pretty solid game. And I can understand why people like it. It's definitely the kind of game, since there's nothing else like Quidditch in the real world, I think it's, if you're a Harry Potter fan, I think it's decent to just check out, just to see what it's like, because it's kind of cool to play Quidditch yourself. Obviously there are like Quidditch minigames and like Chamber Secrets, but like, this is just a lot more fleshed out. You can play as like chasers, seekers, you can play as like all the positions or whatever. It's alright. And then obviously the Game Boy Advance version is probably the worst game we've talked about so far. That's like, I guess it's technically D. It's a Game Boy Advance version, so it's obviously like not in 3D. It's just clunky, man. It's like, there's like these Quidditch sections in the Game Boy Advance version of like Chamber Secrets, and it's just that but a whole game, but also like it's trying to be like impressive, but it's just not. Like, I don't know. I don't think you really make a Quidditch game work on a Game Boy, but it's still like a little impressive that it's not completely horrible. Like, it's not a good game, but it's not like horrible, you know? Like, it's interesting. But yeah, it's just, I don't know why it exists. We can finally move on to the Prisoner of Azkaban. I guess we'll start with PC. It's like a, I don't even know. It's like very low B tier. I mean, it's better than I'd say it's like, it's better than Quidditch, but it's still pretty weak compared to the other two PC games. It's like very short, not a lot of content. You can play as all three. You can play as Harry, Ron, Hermione, you know, the whole trio. But there's just really not a lot of content, and it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels kind of off. Like it was done kind of last minute, but it's still like the same kind of gameplay, so it's decent, but it's still just, It's just not the same. But it's, you know, if you really like the other two PC games, it's worth maybe checking out. But it's still pretty weak compared to the other two. And then we can talk about Game Boy Advance. This one, I think people like to say it's better, because this is like the third game in the RPG series. The same guys that made the RPG for Chamber and Sorcerers made the Game Boy Advance version of this. So it's an RPG. It follows the same formula as like the second one we can play as like Ron, Hermione, and whatever. I mean, I'd say it's better than this, definitely, but it's also a little rushed. I feel like there's not a lot of content. The final like section is kind of disappointing because the final boss is like Malfoy of all people. They just had to pick a random person because the third story of Harry Potter isn't very like action packed, to be completely honest. It doesn't really have much of a grand finale because it has the whole weird time travel stuff. So with these games, they definitely struggled to like have a final boss or challenge. So it's just kind of off in that regard. But it's still good. If you like these other two RPGs, you're gonna like it too. And it also has like really nice animations and stuff. So it's definitely like a high quality game for what it is. But it's just, I feel like the source material isn't as good as the first two, so it's just kind of hard to make it a better game. And speaking of which, we got the console version of Prisoner of Azkaban. This might be my hot take of the video. I know people talk about how this is like one of their favorites, but it's pretty mid. It's like a 5.5 out of 10 for me. And which is sad because it starts out so promising, because it's kind of like Chamber, but hey, now you can play as Ron and Hermione. Graphics and animations are better. It's a bit more open. There's more to Hogwarts. There's like more places to go in Hogwarts. It's cool. But the more it goes on, the just more rushed it becomes. It just becomes lame. Like, there's nothing really to do in the open world. There's some really weird mini games thrown in. And like the final section of like, what is it? The like dungeon spell levels are pretty good. But then like once you get to the point where like Ron is like attacked by the werewolf or whatever, and he's dragged down to like the tree and blinking on the names, the Whomping Willow. It's just right during that whole like time travel thing. It's just like the level design is barely anything. It's just so straightforward and just rushed. There's nothing to it. It's literally like the first half of the game is like a solid 8 out of 10 experience, and the second half is just nothing. So I feel like it kind of, you know, bounces up to like a 5 to 6 out of 10. Like, I mean, I don't know why people... I mean, I don't know how many people really say it's the best one. I just know a lot of people say it's better than, like, Chamber and Sorcerers, but it's just not. It's honestly kind of disappointing, but whatever. So now we move on to the Dark Age, as I like to call it. So we got Goblet of Fire. I guess this is the console and PC version. By this point, now there's only, like, the main, like, PC/console version and then Game Boy version. There's only, like, two... or handheld versions. There are like 2 versions of the movies now. This is actually a pretty horrible game. Like, it's actually trash. Not the worst on the list, but it's definitely going in F tier. It is, especially in the context of the first 3. You get 3, maybe not the greatest, but 3, you know, open world games, charming Harry Potter adventures, and you just get this soulless, like, generic movie tie-in game that's completely linear. Just has like no content. You have to play the same like 5 levels over and over again, and it's just so bad, dude. It's actually just horrible. It's like a 1. It's like a 1 out of 10, which is pretty bad for my standards. Every time I look back at the game, I'm like, it can't be that bad, but it is. It's just so bad. There's just nothing to it. It's just the same 5 levels. But you have to, like, find different, like, paths to find these shields to, like, advance. I don't know. You can tell they just had, like, no time to make it. And I feel like it would have been easy to just use all the assets from Prisoner of Azkaban and make a kind of open world type game. But they just don't. It's just crap. I don't know. And I guess the Game Boy Advance version, technically, there's a DS version, but it's literally the same game. Like, actually, they just ported it and then put, like, a couple like mini games, touchscreen mini games on the DS one. This one's also, honestly, I think it's D tier because it's not like, it's like almost like a 4, but kind of like a 3 out of 10. It's a little little similar to this game, except there's like no good level design. It drags on for a while. It's really simple, but it's also like it kind of feels like junk food in a way, because like you get a lot of dopamine hits because there's a lot of like these little bean things to collect. There's a lot of little things to do, and it's not a good game at all. It's, you know, bad, but it's still like somewhat slightly enjoyable. This I hated the entire thing. This is like, it wasn't good, but it wasn't like I wanted to gouge my eyes out playing it. It was just nothing really. It's just kind of a slop Game Boy game. Not much to say about it. And then we get into people love this game. Okay, I've watched plenty of YouTube videos about Harry Potter crap. They think it's awesome, you know, open world. It looks just like the movies and all this stuff, but it's genuinely like horrible. Like, it's actually just a horrible game, like almost a 0 out of 10. And I say that, and it's something I do kind of want to replay it to see if it's as bad as I remember, but it's genuinely just a walking simulator with very few gameplay elements. This game is literally just walking around from point A to point B in a semi-realistic Harry Potter world, even though it looks horrible now because it's been like 15 years at this point. Oh, it's 20, oh my goodness, 20 years. It just looks horrible. It's laggy even on like a PC. I mean, the whole gameplay is just going from person to person to complete like a task, but all you're really doing is trying to like recruit people to join little Dumbledore's army, whatever it's called. And it's literally just going from one point of the castle to another to just say, hey, join our army. And then maybe you have to like retrieve an item on a different part of the castle to convince them. Like, it's so bad. And there's some like fighting kind of like wizard battles in it, but it's just nothing. Like, that's the only reason it's not a complete 0 out of 10, because there is some gameplay there, some little side mini games, but it's just nothing. I don't know why people say it's as good as it is. It's genuinely horrible. Like, it's not a video game. It's hardly a video game. Like, and it just goes on and on. It probably only takes you a few hours to beat, but it's like, I'd rather just go to the dentist for like 30 minutes to an hour, get my teeth clean, than play this. Like, oh my goodness, it's so bad. Game Boy Advance, I also have the DS version. They're pretty similar, but technically different. I'll do Game Boy Advance first, I guess. I mean, it's still pretty bad. It's not even as good as Goblet of Fire. This is probably one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. It just looks weird. Like, it's basically just this game, but not as tedious, but it's still extremely tedious. And then instead, at least this game, it's like the castle's impressive to look at. This is just pixelated garbage trying to look 3D. It's just weird. I don't know how to describe it. I'm definitely going to be showing gameplay footage over this. It's just a weird game. That's all I can explain. It's genuinely like just bizarre. It's horrible, but it is at least slightly interesting, you know, compared to this, where this is just boring. This is like boring to play, but kind of interesting to look at. I don't know. The DS is kind of like a better version of the Game Boy game. But it's still like, I think it is better than Goblet. But it's still just garbage. It's just not as bad because it looks better, it runs better, and since it's not as tedious as this one, it's just a lot better. But that's not saying much. It's just kind of whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. But like, also, who cares? Who's gonna fight about freaking the Game Boy version? I guess it even has DS right there too. The freaking Game Boy version of Or the Phoenix versus the DS version. Like, there's 3 people in the entire world that have played both of those games. Like, and I'm one of them. And then like the other 2 YouTubers who did a video like this are the other ones. Like, nobody cares about these games. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Now we can move on to Half-Blood Prince. This is the console version. This is a pretty big step up. Compared, I'll put it like right between these two. Compared to the Or the Phoenix, this is like Mario 64. Like, it is insane. Like, it's still a lot of walking around. It doesn't go as long, and there's actually gameplay. You can like make potions and like do wizard duels, and there's also something else there. There's like 3 different gameplay loops, and honestly, that alone just made it a lot more tolerable. It also has some weird humor in it, which is just kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it.
So did you and Ginny do it? What?
There's definitely more gameplay. It's still like a bad game. It's only like good, but at least it has gameplay. So it's not like I feel like it's a bad game, but it's like actually a bad game instead of like this is genuinely just horrific. So, congrats, Half-Blood Prince. You're not horrible. You get a D. I don't know. The DS version though. Now, I genuinely. This is why I kind of want to make this, because I bet no one's played this game. But this genuinely might be one of the worst video games ever made. At least, it's the worst game I've played. There's a lot of games I haven't played, obviously. But of all the games I've played in my life, I can confidently say this is the worst experience I've ever had playing a video game ever. It's a solid 0 out of 10. It is like... It's basically like this Order of the Phoenix game, but somehow even more tedious, and like it genuinely has no gameplay. Like genuinely just has no gameplay. Super laggy, super ugly to look at, confusing where to go, what even to do, and it takes hours and hours. It might be like the longest game. It probably took me the longest to beat out of like pretty much all these other games, maybe. And it's just like I can't even describe it. It's just horrible. Like there's not a single positive thing I can say about the game. It even has a just horrific Quidditch like mini game you're forced to play that's just so just barely even functions. The whole game is so laggy and crappy and just barely works. It's genuinely horrible. Like, obviously no one's gonna talk about this game. It's so niche, but like, it's genuinely just one of the worst games I've ever played. And I kind of just wanted to say that. Because, like, whenever anyone on the internet's talking about, like, the worst game ever, they're going to say, like, oh, the old E.T. or the Wonderland, whatever that stupid thing was. Or just stuff that are, like, Bubsy 3D, stuff people are aware of. But I think probably the objectively worst game ever made is probably some really weird niche crap. And it's probably this. So, you know what, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, you are genuinely just the worst game. Like, I'd rather go to, like, the dentist. Like, I already made that analogy, but I'd rather go to the dentist for a whole hour and getting my teeth cleaned and having my gums be all bloody and crap than actually play this game for like 30 minutes. Like, I actually just cannot stand it. It's one of those things, it's like actually just taking poison straight up. Because at least like with a game like Half-Blood Prince, right? I don't know, boring 4 out of 10 game. It's bad, but it was at least interesting to go through. It's like getting a vaccine almost. Like, you don't want to do it. It doesn't feel good, but it's good for you, you know? That's kind of what some of these games are like. Like, it helps you appreciate what makes a good video game. It's genuinely, like, productive in a way to play them. This is genuinely just, like, just drinking poison. You know, straight up. Just drinking, like, 100 beers in one night and just destroying your liver. That's what this game is, okay? And then we got move on from, Half-Blood era, and then we get Deathly Hallows Part 1. That's the console version. This also is a pretty bad game. I put it's above Goblet. Yeah, I'd say it's above Goblet. I mean, these two are interchangeable, but it's just horrible. It's basically a Call of Duty Harry Potter game, but instead of an actual fun experience of shooting zombies and stuff, it's just really awkward, like, animated, like, spell casting, and there's, like, no real gameplay other than just clicking the button to shoot things, and it goes on and on. There's, like, a bunch of weird, like, escort mission type stuff. It's just padded out. Like, there's nothing to it. It's just a stupid game. Like, this is genuinely just a 2 out of 10 game. There's nothing to it. But I know it's been kind of talked about. It's kind of a known game, this one's kind of a well-known game just because how weird it is. It's just COD, but Harry Potter. The DS version, though, is not like that. It's also... I mean, I'd say it's better. But it's still, like, just a bad game. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. That one is just... It's a lot... Honestly, it's just a lot like this Goblet of Fire game, where it's just top-down, crappy graphics, straightforward levels, boring... But it's also not like... It's nothing like these games down here, you know? It's just kind of there. Definitely Hollows Part 2 console. It's like, I'd say it's a little bit worse than Goblet. It's just the Part 1, but just with even less to do. It's literally just the whole part where you're like battling in the castle before like Voldemort and Harry have that standoff. That's the entire game. Really short, but it's still really padded out and just boring. It's just a slightly worse version of an already worse game. The DS version, though, is actually significantly better. Where did I even put that? Yeah, this is genuinely, like, D tier. Like, I'd say it's better. It's honestly better than all these other 3 games. Like, it's still, like, a pretty, like, 4.5, like, 5, just... It's probably on the cusp of D and C. Like, it could go either one. It's such a just video game. There's nothing really wrong with it. Like, it functions fine. There's no tedious crap. It's just straightforward level design. Decent looking, plays decent idea. It's just the most just middle of the road thing I've ever played. But I'd say it's still more bad than it is good, so it's not quite like a middle of the road. It's a little bit less, but better than like all this other stuff. So it's kind of weird that one's like not horrible. I don't know why. Like, because pretty much every game since the 3rd movie has been just horrible, but this one's like bad, but it's not like as bad. I don't know. Anyways, there's not much to say at this point. It's all just slop. And now we move on to the non-movie tie-in games that are still, you know, actual video games, not like Connect, Move It, I don't know, wherever that is. Lego Harry Potter console. Okay, obviously it's a Lego game, so it's a good game. It's up there. It's a good game. It's a Lego game, so it's like kind of hard to have a bad Lego game. But it's nothing compared to like Lego Star Wars or Batman or Indiana Jones. I feel like just the source material is so just not action heavy that it's kind of hard to make a really compelling Lego game out of it. There's not a lot of like enemies to defeat, but it's still like an addictive, you know, junk food kind of game where like it's good, but it's not really good for you. It's just kind of there to just waste some hours. But it's a good game. You know, if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's definitely the game for you. It's very simple to play, even if you're not really into video games. It's just a really nice artistic interpretation of the, you know, earlier movies. It's a good game, but it's just a Lego game, and it's not a very, you know, innovative Lego game. It's just kind of fun, but nothing special. The DS version is actually kind of have some nostalgia with it. I remember there was a really bad snowstorm back in like early middle school, and the buses to my school couldn't get out and pick up the kids, so we were off for school for like 2 weeks, but the roads are fine. So I had to go to my mom's work, and I remember I had this game on the DS, and I played it for like the entire day, being at my mom's office. So I don't know, that's just a random story I just had, like, that I remember. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. I'd say it's on the lower end. It's honestly, I think it's better than Azkaban. It's more consistent, but it's still like a 6 out of 10, just kind of whatever game. It's just Lego Harry Potter, but touchscreen. It's just junk food. It's literally just junk food, but it's nothing to really check out. It's just kind of there. Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7. It's like marginally better. These two are interchangeable. Like, I like the early Harry Potter movies more, so I kind of like this one more, but I think objectively this is just a better game, more quality of life. It's just better. The DS version, though, is just not that. I guess it's like, it's the lowest C tier. It's basically another just video gamey type of game. I don't know. It's just Lego, handheld, not really much going on, just kind of there. I really don't have much to say about it. It was just straightforward, generic Lego game, but handheld, and it's not horrible, it's just okay. Now I move on to the modern era. I'm going to say Legacy. Legacy came out first, but we're going to save it for last. Quidditch Champions. I honestly think this is not as good as the original Quidditch game. Not by a lot. Like, it's still, like, I'd say it's still pretty, like, high C tier, like, around here. Better gameplay, but just no charm. So it's just kind of, I think it kind of balances it out. Where this game, not the greatest gameplay, but really charming, just an awesome, celebration of Harry Potter and the world. This is just kind of like generic mobile game, but the gameplay is good, like it's decent, but it's also just, I don't know. No one talked about it either. It's kind of there and went. The hard thing about Quidditch, it's genuinely just not a sport. It's just a narrative device. It doesn't work in real life. It doesn't make sense as a real sport. So it's cool to see them try to make a video game, but like, nah, it just doesn't really work. It's hard to make a really good game I feel like it'd be hard to make a really good Quidditch game with it still being Quidditch. They had to change a lot of the rules in this, like catching the snitch doesn't end the game, which I feel like is kind of the whole point of Quidditch. So at least this one's like pretty authentic, even if it's kind of, not the greatest gameplay. I don't know. It's just a worse version of that. So yeah. And then Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, I'd say it's probably like an 8.5, almost a 9. Like, it's definitely got a lot of the problems that modern games have, especially like AAA, open world. It's still pretty generic, all things considered, in terms of open world games. But I think it being Harry Potter kind of makes it more interesting. There's a lot more gameplay in it than I think most open world games have. A lot of different gameplay mechanics, a lot of stuff you can do with, like, the magic and the different spells. Like, the combat's kind of intricate a little bit. Not a whole lot. But it's definitely, like, it's a great game. It's obviously better than anything on this list. But at the same time, I do think this game right here is kind of like the 2002 version of this game, but a little bit. Like, for 2002, this is almost as good as a 2023 Harry Potter game. In terms of, like, the context of, like, the time it was made in. Like, there's a huge jump between the content in this game and then this. But obviously you gotta take context into consideration. Just because a game has more stuff doesn't mean it's better. Just because a game has better graphics doesn't mean it plays better. I don't know. Hogwarts Legacy is a well-known game, so I don't have to talk too much about it. It's just, objectively, yeah, the best Harry Potter game. Unless they make, like, a Hogwarts Legacy 2, which they could do, I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy that there are even good games on this list. Because any, like, media franchise that's, like, popular, especially with, like, families and kids, all the games around them are usually, like, crap. Like, SpongeBob. Obviously, Battle for King Bottom is, like, the weirdest thing ever, because it's actually, like, one of the greatest, like, platformers ever made, even though it's like a SpongeBob game and all the other SpongeBob games are like just dog crap. At least with Harry Potter, there's a lot of good games in there. Like, anything B tier and above is like a good solid game. And it's interesting how, like, pretty much all of them are like Chamber of Secrets or Sorcerer's Stone, and then maybe like a Prisoner of Azkaban right here, and then Lego. Once they got to, like, Goblet of Fire, it just fell off a cliff. Which I feel like is true about the whole game industry as a whole. Like, you can tell, these kind of games, you can't really make them... Or I guess these kind of games weren't really popular when these kind of games were coming out, so they kind of had to change it. And then obviously, the Harry Potter movies got more and more, like, mature and serious as they went on. So it makes sense to make them more like this, but I feel like the older Harry Potter games are just a lot more charming. Just all the older Harry Potter stuff is so much better than, like, the later ones. Like, the first 3 movies, especially 1 and 2, it's just so much better. Just a better atmosphere, better world. It's just more engaging. I feel like the franchise is a lot better when it's more lighthearted instead of trying to take itself seriously. So I just feel like early Harry Potter games are better for a reason. And it's honestly incredible that we actually got some good games out of this franchise, which, Harry Potter isn't really the greatest movie franchise or book franchise of all time. It's really not. People like to glaze it, people are obsessed with it. The books are fine, but they're also, like, not that deep. Like, it's really not that deep, dude. And the movies are just kind of fun, kind of mostly family friendly, just kind of fun romps. I don't know. It's just like it's a solid franchise, but it's like, it's really nothing that humongously special. It's just fine. But these games, these 3 right here, I'd say are, like, genuinely great games. This is obviously great. These are like, if you're a Harry Potter fan, check these out. These are like just objectively good games up here. This is like guilty pleasure Harry Potter fan type games. And then all this is just complete slop that no one should ever play, especially this right here. Worst game ever made. And I want that to be recognized in like the Library of Congress or something. I don't know. It's gotta be preserved just to show how just horrific a game can be. And then this stuff is just nothing. And then obviously it's just a worse version of that, but yeah, whatever. So if you're watching this and you watch the whole thing, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm just kidding. I really appreciate it. I'm sure this will get like 5 views, and I don't really care if it does. I'm just doing it to do it. So yeah, now I'm actually gonna go out and do something productive with my life after making this crap. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.